Happy New Year. Thank you for a great 2024, but let's not live in the past. Let's take a look forward. We're going to take a look at every single Japanese car, or should I say Japanese branded car, because so many of them are made in North America nowadays. But we're going to look at the Japanese brands, which new models are coming out, what I'm most excited for. We're going to go through Acura, Honda, Toyota, Lexus, Infiniti, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Subaru, Mazda. I'm probably forgetting someone in there. We're going to go over all the ones available in the United States. If you guys are excited, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, because this year is going to be crazy in the automotive market. I'm expecting some really big shakeups. I think we'll get the dust settling on EVs. I think we'll see next-gen powertrains. I think we'll see some radical redesigns. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you're subscribed. I guess we can start this with Honda as well. Let's get right into it because I'm starting the year off with Honda. I am going to CES this week. At CES, Honda is debuting 2 new electric vehicles. These electric vehicles, well, one is going to be a more production-ready saloon that I drove a concept, or you could say a prototype of, over in Japan this past October. I also will debut for you guys the new 3-row EV for Honda. All right, so make sure you subscribe because that is happening soon. But let's keep going with Honda. They had a pretty strong 2024. Their sales are good. They had their first EV, I should say mass market EV, with the Prologue. The Odyssey that I'm on a long-term loader with, the Odyssey got a refresh for 2025, the smallest of refreshes, super small refresh. But hey, don't fix what ain't broken, right? And then the excellent Civic got a hybrid. So those things are carrying some momentum in for Honda. We also got the reveal of the new Passport, and I will be driving it in the first half of next year. Or should I say this year, 2025? So that is happening. So we'll talk about what's coming for Honda now, 2025. I already talked about the reveals happening this week at CES. We got the new Passport coming with the new boxy design. We could see by the end of the year a new Ridgeline. I don't think so. It's probably going to get postponed until 2026, but it should look the same. I'm expecting, or very similar to the new Passport. The new CRV. Could the CRV get a refresh? It's possible. I'm hoping the HRV gets a hybrid this year to compete against the Corolla Cross hybrid. Also in 2025, Honda's battery plant in Ohio with LG is coming online. Speaking of plants, at the end of January, at the end of this month now, I will be going to Ohio. Not to the battery plant, I will be going for sure to the assembly line plant in Marysville, where they are reworking how to build EVs, hybrids next to gas cars, for example. They're all going to be coming out of one multi-purpose assembly line. So that I'm really excited to see the technology coming from there. What about Honda's performance division, Acura? Well, it's a much smaller lineup, but I will be driving the ADX. I think it's in March. So stay tuned for their entry-level crossover. Acura has needed an entry-level crossover, right? They've needed it since the RDX has gotten so much bigger. RDX is still a question mark. We've wanted RDX Type S. Are we going to get a refresh in RDX? Is it going to be fully electric? I think Acura has been weighing these things. And with the water getting a bit cold on EVs, the RDX is just kind of continuing on in its current state. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the RDX, unfortunately. Now, 2024 was a pretty eventful year, I guess, for Acura. They revealed the ADX, but we got a refreshed MDX and MDX Type S. Make sure to watch my driving impressions on both of those. The Type S is phenomenal. We also had the ZDX and ZDX Type S. Watch my driving impressions on both of those as well. But as we look into 2025, we want an Acura EV, not one built by General Motors. That is the ZDX, right? So Acura will actually be getting their first EV built in the Ohio plant that it will be touring, right? In just a few weeks. Acura gets precedence. They're getting the very first EV out of that plant. Honda EVs will follow in 2026. Afeela EVs will follow in 2026. But Acura should be first out of the gate with an EV out of their new assembly line plant in 2025. All right, but that's about it. I don't think we'll get a refresh on the Integra. I don't think we'll get a refresh on the Type S. However, if you guys been watching my recent videos, there is a new trademark, a renewal of the trademark of RSX. If Honda, oh my gosh, I forget, did I do this? I already made a mistake, or should I say an omission. Honda in 2025, by the end of 2025, and this is going to flow into Acura, just hold on. We are getting the new Prelude. Prelude was a surprise reveal at the 2023 Japan Mobility Show. Lucky I was there to just be there and witness it and give you guys an initial walk around. Yes, the new Prelude will be debuting next generation Honda hybrid technology. They'll be very efficient, maybe a tad more powerful. I'm not really expecting that, but I'm expecting better efficiency and I'm expecting better driving engagement. And if we look at Acura's RSX trademark renewal for the coupe should be their spin on the Prelude. Now, the Prelude is hybrid only for Honda. I expect Acura to put in 6-speed manuals, 1.5 turbo, and dear God, please give us a coupe Type S with the 2-liter, anywhere from 300 horsepower. I'm expecting 315 or whatever the Integra has. Maybe they dial it back and has around 270 horsepower. I hope not. Also, big question mark. Maybe it might not survive 2025 is the TLX. It's a bit worrisome. The sales on the TLX have been in the dumps, partially because it's sharing assembly line duty with the Accord and the Integra. Those two vehicles are more important to their respective brands than the TLX is. So who knows what's going to happen with the TLX, but maybe it'll get it. Who knows? I just don't know. All right. So that summarizes Acura and Honda. I almost forgot the coupes. That was one of the biggest surprises and most exciting aspects of the Honda brand, all right, in 2024. All right. So let's get into Lexus. Lexus in 2024, bit of an up and down year. And it's not just Lexus, it's parent company Toyota. We finally got the reveal of the new GX and the availability of the new GX 550. In other markets, they actually have the hybrid available. We still don't have the hybrid. Hopefully it comes out in 2025, right? In 2024, we also got the hybrid LX using the exact same powertrain that I'm aware of in the Sequoia and the Tundra. I think the ES was supposed to get it got a small refresh in China, the ES. ES is just kind of cruising along. NX and RX are still new enough. The TX had that setback, right, in 2024, along with the Grand Highlander from Toyota at the Indiana West plant due to the safety recall with the windows and the airbag deployment. But that's all that's under the bridge now. They're cruising along. Should see a lot more TX and Grand Highlanders on the road as we go into 2025 and beyond. 2025, hopefully this is the year we get the LFR flagship performance coupe, twin turbo V8, potential hybrid variants as well. There should be GT3 variants. This thing is a true performance successor to the LFA, not a spiritual successor because there's no V10. It's not fully carbon fiber. It could be aluminum and carbon fiber. Hopefully 2025 is also when we'll see the refresh, or should I say redesign of the ES. Now, it's interesting, the ES, it's leaving the Kentucky plant where it's had production since 2016. And it's going back to Japan. Now, they still produce the ES in Japan. We just don't get the Japanese-made ES. We just get the Kentucky-made ES in North America. But it's going back to Japan around August is what I'm hearing from my sources. If it goes back to Japan at that time, wouldn't they have a redesign soon thereafter? I don't know. It's just kind of strange what's happening to the ES. We've had trademarks for 350h, so be getting the 5th-gen hybrid system that's in the Camry. It's fantastic. 230 horsepower or something we should see in it. All-wheel drive finally in an ES. Finally getting up to speed with the Camry and the Crown, for example, in terms of all-wheel drive. Hopefully, it'd be great to see ES plug-in hybrids. I just don't see it happening unless they put an EREV in there. Extended range EV. There's also trademarks to ES 350E and 500E. Those are fully electrics. Those could be maybe for the Chinese market as sedans and electric propulsion is much bigger over there than it is here. EVs are not that popular here, only about 10% of the market. In China, it's in multitudes higher and growing. Here, it's not even growing that much. All right. So maybe the ES EVs are mainly for the Chinese market. I'm not sure. But there are trademarks for it. LS, we still don't know what's going to happen to the LS. It could get discontinued in 2025, maybe 2026. Same thing with the LC and RC. Hard to say. It's not I'm not excited for Lexus in 2025. I'm a bit worried for, like, I've gone into these roller coaster rides of optimism and pessimism for Lexus over the years. 23 was a pretty big year for Lexus. 22 with the redesigned RX, like 24, it like flatlined. 25, it's not, because in 2025 they were supposed to, and it still could happen, but I highly doubt it, have a 3-row EV coming out of the Kentucky plant. But that's, from what I've heard, been postponed to 2026. And what also was supposed to come in 2026 was their next-gen gigacasted software-defined EV. That's not coming until 2027 now, according to many sources. So Lexus wanting to be a fully electric brand by 2030 I don't think that's going to happen here stateside. I could be wrong. But I just don't. The future of Lexus, it's really strange. They showed those amazing concepts in 2021. We haven't gotten any of those really cool concepts with the IS, the Sports Coupe. I guess technically those are all supposed to be solid state batteries. Those are supposed to come in 2026. So in 2025, it's kind of a crickets year unless the LFR comes and just, kind of has the one bright and shining spot of 2025. Hopefully we get an ES redesign. Anyways, you guys know I can talk about Lexus for a long time. All right, let's move on to parent company of Lexus, the largest automaker in the world, Toyota. 24, we got the new Camry. Made my top 5 vehicles last year. Make sure to check out that video. The best cars I reviewed last year out of the 130 so cars I reviewed. Camry made top 5. It's affordable. It's fantastic. It's efficient. 62 miles per gallon in the LE is just absurd. We also got the availability last year of the J250 Land Cruiser. It's great to have a Land Cruiser back. Like to have more powertrain options on it, obviously, but that's kind of what the GX is for, and the 4Runner, right? Crown Signia made its way into America. It's great to have wagons. The Camry, however, is much cheaper and feels better, drives better, and it has a better powertrain. So it's hard to recommend the Crown Signia other than its really cool looks. We were supposed to get a redesign of the RAV4 in 2024, at least an announcement. That was supposed to happen at the LA Auto Show. At least that was my understanding. And Toyota had a no-show there, essentially, at the LA Auto Show. So the RAV4 has been delayed. Hopefully we get a reveal by the end of the first half of 2025. I'll get more into the RAV4 here in a little bit. Toyota also canceled the Venza in 2024, and the GR Corolla got an 8-speed auto. I think those are just the last housekeeping items of 2024. The Venza/Harrier lives on in Japan, and it will continue to live on in Japan for a very long time. All right, so 25. Could they refresh the Tundra? I guess so. I don't think that's going to happen. The Corolla could get a redesign in 2025, but probably pushed back to 2026. The new Corolla is supposed to have the next-gen powertrains in it with a 1.5-liter hybrid or extended range EV but that's probably 2026 at this point. RAV4, though, will get a global redesign, and it's going to be probably hybrid only for our market in the United States. Plug-in hybrids readily available, more so than we've ever seen before, as well as potential battery electric variants of the RAV4. And that could spell the end of the BZ4X, and I don't think anyone would be sad about that. The RAV4 is going to benefit massively from going full hybrid, but also massively from the North Carolina battery plant opening for Toyota, having something like 14 lines, 4 of them dedicated to EVs, 10 of them, or no, the other way around, 4 of them dedicated to hybrids, 10 to EVs, but they can rework those assembly lines depending on demand and plug-in hybrid demand, etc. Now, for the global market, the baby Land Cruiser FJ, whatever it's going to be called, the really small Land Cruiser, it could be a debut in 2025. The chances of us getting it are slim to none. It's going to be made more than likely in Thailand. So don't get your hopes up for the baby Land Cruiser, even though it will be announced in 2025. The Highlander could get discontinued in 2025. I will be driving the 4Runner in just a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. But we know pretty much everything about that vehicle. Hopefully, we get two massive reveals for 2025. One would be the pickup truck, a small pickup truck hybrid that would compete against the Maverick. Toyota needs it. Toyota would be printing money with it, just like Ford is printing money with the Maverick. So hopefully that small pickup truck comes out. And the Celica. Mid-engine Celica is the latest report coming from Japan. It's kind of emerging between the MR2 and the Celica nameplate. The Celica nameplate just had so many more generations than the MR2, and Toyota just has too many sports cars, so they can't. It just doesn't make sense for them to have a Celica and MR2 using similar powertrains and different styling and engine configurations, meaning front engine or mid-engine. So they're just going to seemingly do a mid-engine Celica, maybe with an MR2 variant that is a drop top or T-top. That'd be crazy cool. But yeah, hopefully that gets announced in 2025. We know for sure the Celica is coming back. It's confirmed by executives in Toyota. But that's all I have for Toyota. Big delays in 24, big delays in 25. We're not getting the 3-row EV. The RAV4 reveals got delayed to this year. I mean, the 4Runner, the new 4Runner is supposed to be out for many years now. It's finally going to be available in 25. And hopefully we get some big surprises from Toyota. A new Corolla, a new Celica, a new MR2. Those would be the big surprises. But let's move on. Let's go from the largest Japanese manufacturer to probably the smallest. And this is Infiniti, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller. The QX60 could get a refresh. They just replaced, however, in 2024, they replaced the QX60's V6 with the VC 2-liter turbo. It's not good. It's they had to do it for emissions regulations, and it's not good. The V6 was so much better, smoother, and sounded better too, and better power delivery in my opinion. So in 24 we got the redesigned QX80, phenomenal. It's not enough to save the brand, and we'll talk about Nissan here in a little bit, parent company. Right, they're just not in a good place. So if parent company is not in a good place, luxury division is not going to be in a good place either. The Q50 met its end. Rest in peace, Skyline. Right, the Q50 met its end in 2024, right off the backs of the Q60 being discontinued. So Infiniti has no coupes or sedans anymore. They're just a crossover SUV brand at this point. Yeah, 2025 we could see a refresh of the QX50. They need to get rid of that gosh darn CVT in there and replace it with a 9-speed auto. The Muranos replaced it. They got their CVT replaced with the 9-speed auto. Why can't Infiniti do the same with the QX50? It's just, they just don't have the resources essentially to make these crucial changes. Now we could get a new variant of the QX60 called the QX65, kind of a large coupe style crossover that would, I would guess, go toe-to-toe with a Lexus RX, but again, they would have the 2-liter VC turbo, no hybrids. It's just kind of meh, all right? Now, Infiniti's designs are never an issue. Their cars always looks good. Their SUVs always look really good. It's just they don't get updated enough. And they're not going to have an entry-level crossover. They used to have the QX30. Acura's bringing in the ADX. Lexus has small crossovers like the UX and Infiniti. So we're moving on from Infiniti. It's pretty depressing. Nissan's also fairly sad. They had a pretty big year in 24. The Kicks made my top 10 vehicles last year. It was one of the biggest surprises. I expected nothing out of that. Now it's slow. Outside of it being slow, it gets good fuel economy. The amount of features and size and just overall vehicle you get for around low $20,000. It's a wonderful vehicle, and it looks great. Drives really, really well. just needs about 50 more horsepower, but I could probably say that about every car. The Kicks was one of the big surprises of 24. The Armada came out, still got to drive the new Armada, but Armada has been one of my favorite vehicles from Nissan for a long time. And we got the new Murano in 24. Still got to drive that as well, but it's going to drive very similar to maybe a QX50, but with the transmission that I'd rather have in it. It was also a sad year for Nissan. We know about their financial woes, but the GTR got killed off. That's heartbreaking. The Titan got killed off as well. So the big pickup truck is ending. And talks of the Honda merger and the future of Nissan, it's just all up in the air right now. Can we get excited for 2025 for Nissan? Depends who you are. I'm a little bit excited. The new Leaf should be coming based off the chill out concept. That vehicle should be pretty handsome. Kind of this small coupe style crossover. Should do well for them. Hopefully we get good range, good efficiency. And we know Nissan makes good looking vehicles, so I'm excited for it. Rogue will get the Mitsubishi Outlander's plug-in hybrid. I'm very excited for that. I love the Outlander plug-in hybrid. It's not perfect, but if it gets the refreshed powertrain with the bigger battery pack, we'll talk more about Mitsubishi here in a little bit. But if it gets the refreshed Mitsubishi Outlander's updated stuff, that's exciting. And Nissan really needs hybrids. Hybrids won't be available in 2025, though, other than the plug-in hybrid Rogue. They're coming probably in end of 2026, maybe 2027. It's just too late to save the brand. They need hybrids now. Actually, they needed hybrids for the last 10 years. And they have them. They have fantastic hybrids, e-power hybrids, but due to poor product planning, poor, top-down leadership, they didn't bring their hybrids to America or bring out a hybrid to America. They didn't engineer their hybrids for our high-speed highways and stuff, and it has absolutely crippled the brand in North America and therefore globally. One vehicle that could help, if they could produce enough of them, would be the Xterra. They just re-upped the Xterra trademark here in North America. The Xterra, they could sell 100K of those a year. Put the big V6 in it from the Frontier, make it in Canton, Mississippi. They don't even know what to do with that plant anyways. They're planning on making EV sedans and crossovers there. I still think that's the plan, but it keeps getting pushed back. Give the consumers what they want. The 4Runner has a turbo 4-cylinder. Most Toyota diehards for the 5th gen 4Runner don't want that turbo 4-cylinder. Maybe I'm speaking out of hand, but that 4-liter V6 was a thing of beauty. I've driven the new 4 cylinders. It's just not the same. All right, same thing I was talking about on the QX60, getting rid of the V6 for a 2-liter turbo. So the new Xterra could be really enticing a lot of 4Runner owners. If they can come out next year, they can't wait any longer than that. It needs to come out as soon as possible. Just make an SUV version of the Frontier, which is already my favorite midsize pickup truck, and it's a home run. Absolute home run. Now I know it'll only get like 15 to 20 miles per gallon, but that is okay because that thing would be amazing. All right, and to compete with not only the 4Runner, but the new Honda Passport. I know it's Passport's unibody, but people get their panties in a bunch when I compare them. They're in the same segment in America anyways. I'm not saying that they're the same capability off-road, but don't underestimate the new Passport. Also, what could happen in 2025? Again, do not get your hopes up for this because of the weakness of the Nissan Mitsubishi brands. I'll go ahead and put it on the screen for you, but they are coming up with a new pickup truck made in Mexico between Mitsubishi and Nissan. Hopefully that comes, or we get an announcement by the end of 2025. I don't understand what the point of it is. I don't know if it's an extended range pickup truck using Mitsubishi's plug-in hybrid technology. I just don't know. I don't know if it's going to be smaller or bigger than the Frontier. I don't know if it's really, I just don't know. All right, there's no information other than it's going to be coming out of Mexico from Nissan Mitsubishi. So use your imagination there. So let's move on to Mitsubishi. 2024. Don't think we got anything new in 2024. We're sorely overdue on refreshes and redesigns on the Outlander Sport, the Eclipse Cross. The Mirage just got killed in 2024. That brand is almost becoming just a one vehicle brand, and that is the Outlander and the Outlander plug-in hybrid. Now in 2025, the Outlander is getting that refresh, larger battery pack, more powerful output. So we're getting 300 horsepower now compared to, I think it was around 240 horsepower or something in the pre-refresh plug-in hybrid. We're getting 40 miles, 45 miles of electric range now on the refreshed Outlander. It's gonna be really, really good. I'm excited for it. There's a possibility Mitsubishi could get the Nissan Leaf and rebadge it as a Mitsubishi IMEV or whatever that thing was. Whatever they could name it, whatever they want. And maybe they get that pickup from Mexico with Nissan out in 2025. But that's about it. The big refresh on the Outlander plug-in hybrid is really the only thing that's going to stick for sure. The rest of them are just maybes. All right, let's move on to Mazda. Mazda in 2024 came out with the CX-70. That was a bit of a disappointment. Not that the car's bad. It's just a two-row version of the CX-90. They went the ultimate cheap route, just reconfigured a CX-90, give it a slightly different bumpers. It's exact same vehicle, though. So that was a bit of a disappointment. CX-70 just really doesn't, there's just no point of having it around. The CX-50 hybrid specifically came out by the end of last year. I drove it. It has the RAV4 hybrid powertrain in there. I would take it over a RAV4 hybrid. I think it drives better. It feels nicer than a RAV4 hybrid. The materials are better. It looks better than a RAV4. Yeah, it's just a really, really good overall vehicle, the CX-50 hybrid. There you have it. That ended 2024. 25. Holy cow. This is, well, so here's the thing. I don't know the total sales numbers. It's January 1st. We'll get the total sales numbers. I'll have to do follow-up videos on which brands crushed it in 2024. Mazda, though, crushed it more than any other brand in terms of growth, I would assume, in North America. They broke their all-time sales record that stood since the 90s, maybe early 2000s. They are doing better than they've ever done before for United States, North America's sales, and possibly global sales all time. That's carried into 2025. And guess what also happens in 2025 is a redesigned CX-5, which is getting an in-house Mazda hybrid. We have no idea what it's going to be like, other than it should be more sporty and more fun to drive than the hybrid ported in from Toyota seen in the CX-50. It would be excellent if we had a true automatic transmission. If they don't, hopefully they do something that Honda's doing with the new Prelude, where they can essentially mimic an ECVT and have fixed gears, software planned out that are zippy and predictable and also satisfying. And the CX-5 will continue to be built in Japan, which is pretty exciting. Should be very, very well executed. It's one of their cash cows. Could we see a redesign on the Mazda 3? Well, it's due for one. It would be great if it had a hybrid, but Mazda needs a sporty hybrid to fit inside the Mazda 3, and maybe they're waiting for the CX-5 to debut such a sporty hybrid. It's hard to say. So we're not getting a Mazda 6 in 2025. A rear-wheel drive inline 6, that would be amazing. I just don't want to get my hopes up for that vehicle. The EZ6 plug-in hybrid, as well as electric vehicle sedan in China, looks amazing. It could be imported into Japan from China, but we're not going to get that. So that pretty much ends my summary of 2025 on Mazda. CX-5 and the CX-5 hybrid coming is going to be very exciting. And lastly, because since we don't get Suzuki or Isuzu in America, we are going to finish up with Subaru. Subaru is, they're just so strong in America. They're so steady. They've had, I don't know, it's been like 2+ years of consecutive month-over-month growth. They're the most conservative, possibly, out of all the Japanese brands. Their cars are nothing special, but they have such a huge following here in America, and it's not going anywhere anytime fast. All right. They literally have no hybrids, and they're still doing great. So 2024, what did we get? Well, watch my review on the new Forester. It's a really good car. It's just severely underpowered. Outside of that, it's really, really good. The legacy also met its end in 2024. Rest in peace. In 2025, we were supposed to get the 3-row EV made in Kentucky with Toyota. Well, that got canceled, or should I say postponed. That's coming in 2026 now. The big one in 2025 is the Outback, and I want to look through some of these spy shots with you guys. Outback is going kind of like I would call it like do you guys remember the Ford Taurus X? I think it had a different name. They rebadged it to something else. This is kind of the same lifted wagon vehicle that is coming for the Outback, and it will get a hybrid. Maybe not at launch because look, the Forester still doesn't have that hybrid, even though they have that hybrid working in Japan on the Crosstrek, right? Words are tough right now at this as I've been recording for about 40 minutes. So the Crosstrek already has a hybrid in Japan, should be coming to the Forester in 2025, and hopefully the new Outback launches with it, and it's going to be good. The new Outback. I know people are going to be pissed because it's not the traditional softed, rounded edges wagon, but this thing is going to do well for them. I guarantee it. People are going to be, especially the old people that buy these Outbacks, they're going to be losing their GD minds over the new Outback. I guarantee it. And Boxy is in right now. They're doing the right things, in my opinion. Those overhangs are horrendous, though. Horrendous overhangs. Oh, man. Clown shoes, right? Oh, also in 25, I know it's across the ocean, but their EV plant will be getting close to coming online for Subaru. Subaru is planning to have, I don't know, like 3 or 4 EVs globally by the end of 2026. So some of them have to come out next year. I don't know how or what models are going to see that. So I'm going to end it there. I've covered all the brands from Japan that we get in the United States and North America, from Acura to Subaru to Mazda, Nissan, Toyota, etc. Let me know what you are most excited for. I mean, Lexus LFR comes to mind. The new Prelude comes to mind. We'll get huge news on the evolution of the Nissan Honda Mitsubishi alliance and whatever happens with that. Arguably the most important vehicle in 2024 amongst all these brands could very well be the new RAV4. It's a global model. They sell like almost 400 to 500,000 per year of them in the United States of the new RAV4, and hopefully we get a reveal this spring of that vehicle that is going to really change things up. Expecting it to be standard hybrid, which is going to be phenomenal. A little disclosure, I was going to do a live stream, but I have family coming over today, so not going to live stream. I'm doing this early in the morning. Also, some of you may have been expecting a video of all the new cars coming out in 2025. I might have to do something there. I just know that the majority of my followers care most about Japanese cars and Korean cars, and maybe I'll do a separate video on Korean cars because that would be pretty fun too, because the Koreans are very exciting. They're always coming out with new, fresh, and compelling products, always getting better, and they're honestly more exciting than most of the Japanese brands, if not all of them. All right, with their new technology and products coming down the hatch. So I will catch you guys in upcoming videos. Have a great start to your new year. Again, thanks for helping me have the best year ever in 2024. It was incredible. The birth of my son, the growth of the channel, going back to Japan, just having a wonderful year. I didn't travel as much in 2024, and it was amazing. I got to spend more time with family. I think 2025 is going to be more on the road, the way things are looking. My January's just slam packed. I cannot wait to spend the rest of the year with you guys. So I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Happy New Year and peace.